JGod says that COD is listening now. The update that came out recently, because I haven't been on in a little bit, is the fact that they've reduced the amount of recoil you're getting, and then a few other audio and stuff like that. But
Today they
I don't know.
updated the visual recoil
I
on
haven't looked at
weapons.
it
I have
properly.
some side-by-sides for you so you can kind of see exactly what they changed. Some of the things are a little bit more noticeable than others, so we'll kind of go through what they were looking to change, and we'll look at the various changes, and we'll go ahead and kind of compare and contrast. Overall, I like the direction that they're going with the visual recoil. I think a lot of people, the gold standard for visual recoil is MW 2019. That game had tons of flaws, but the way it felt when you aimed in a gun, shot the gun, and the way it looked was probably the best. So hopefully they're getting just closer to that. I still think there's little strides they can make towards that.
But they are moving
But I think
closer.
they've made huge leaps with this current update. So for whatever reason, Warzone didn't get its own section. You can see right here, weapon, multiplayer, zombies, and Warzone. It looks like we have taken a comprehensive pass on weapon motion and applied reductions across the board to improve combat experience, depending on the weapon class. Our target for these reductions range from 30% up to 75%. Players will notice far more stability while turning, moving, and changing stances, and firing, especially while ADS. This is specifically the crosshair when you strafe. Before it would do like this weird, I'm exaggerating, it would do this weird lean. Now it's pretty fixed. When you still jump,
And that's a good thing, because if it leans too much, your shots are kind of like off kilter from where it should be hitting compared to what it isn't. So that's a
it
good
still
fix.
moves, because that's kind of what happens. The same thing happened in MW 2019, but you're getting far less visual shake when you're actually moving and just strafing in a gunfight, which is normally what you do, even with an optic at range, especially on controller to activate that aim assist. So I think this could be good visually, because then your crosshairs are where you're actually aiming, which is one of the biggest problems currently, or what recently with the game, is that when you move, your crosshairs are doing a dance into the air, and it's like, okay, I hope my bullets are going where they're supposed to. We are committed to continually improving Black Ops 6 gunplay with a focus on balance and rewarding gameplay while maintaining the unique characteristics of each weapon. So I don't think this will be the last time they fix these things. I think there's certain other things that people will be upset about or complain about or point or direct information towards, and then they'll go ahead and continue to improve those things, because I think at the end of the day, they just want a game that's fun to play for all peripherals, and just to be able to see where you're at. It just feels smooth, more snappy, because a lot of that stuff, although it is more realistic, it just leads to your characters feeling sluggish. Reduced visual recoil on all weapons, especially full auto. Reduced turn sway on all weapons, especially on higher magnifications. Reduced gun kick on higher magnification optics, except for snipers.
Why would they totally reduce the visual recoil? I mean, it is a skill thing, but it's basically creating a no recoil. And I can't remember if I just said it 10 seconds ago or not, but the fact that it's going to be all no recoil weapons. So unless they patch it real quick to say, okay, there's a little bit of visual recoil, then we're good. But everyone's going to be saying, oh, they have the meta. So they kind of put themselves in a
idle sway on
predicament, right?
all weapons except sniper rifles. Further reduced idle sway while firing on all weapons except sniper rifles. Reduced weapon motion, bob, translation, and additional idle sway penalties as a result of walking or changing stances. I think this one's the most noticeable. And then removed additional layer of hip fire deviation, which caused crosshair to bounce while firing. And I think this is just more of the hip firing. I don't have footage, so we'll go ahead and take a look at that one probably. Aiming idle sway delay is a mechanic that scales weapons idle sway when first entering ADS. And this is to do with that thing where wherever your center dot is, when you aim down sight,
it starts.
Your crosshairs are exactly there, or your reticle right when you aim down sight. That's the way it should be. But previously there was an update that added an MW2, and then MW3 fixed it, and then this reverted it, and now they're fixing it again.
They can't. They can't
where
figure
basically
it out.
does a figure 8, right, when you're aim down sight.
Yeah.
Well, with this ADS mechanic, pretty much the dot was right here. Then you aim down sight, and your aim would be over there. Then you aim down sight, your aim would be over there, depending on where it was in that idle sway pattern. This helps to reduce that or remove it, so that when you aim down sight, your bullets are going, or your
Where it's targeted
crosshairs
to.
and your
Hmm.
reticle will be aligned with where your crosshairs were.
Yep.
These values are now improved and consistent across all weapon classes. Sniper rifles, which previously only scaled initial idle sway by 50%, now provide a complete reduction. As always, we'll be keeping a close eye on sniper balance after this change. So quick scoping should be a little bit easier because when you're aiming down sight, if your centering's good, you should be able to get there. Obviously, that's more of a multiplayer thing because a lot of people aren't quick scoping necessarily in Warzone.
There are
Aiming
a few,
idle
but
sway.
those are the
So now
weird
it's
ones.
default 2.2
Those are the
seconds on
weird
all
people,
weapons. And this was
if you will.
particularly noticeable if any of you guys were doing your zombies camos. You'd go.
When I say weird people, I mean like those who are trying to intentionally go for a clip, but those who are trying to do it just for fun is one thing. Intentionally going for a clip and posting it anywhere is
Do your Deadshot Daiquiri Easter
slightly
egg where you had to
cringe,
shoot
in
the
my
little
opinion.
cans. You didn't have idle sway on, your gun is doing this. Well, now you get the 2 seconds, un-ADS, re-ADS, and it'll go ahead and reset that. Aiming idle sway delay on sniper rifles now fully removes idle sway rather than reducing by 50%. So that's a huge one. And then target laser now improves aiming idle sway up to 2.9
that was supposed to
seconds
what it was
on
supposed to be
all
doing
weapons.
anyway.
So this was the default before, I think, with the target laser 2.2, and now it's up to 2.9. So you get about 0.7 seconds there. Then there's some multiplayer changes to weapons. These don't impact Warzone. Warzone will get its own patch notes.
Yep.
They haven't updated those, so we'll cover those when those come. So here's some of the side by side I recorded with about 5 different weapons, 6 different weapons, so you'll be able to see them for yourself. You can kind of see that the crosshairs, like right here, you can see that this little ring on the optic is shaking much more. If we look at this, I'm sure we're going to see these for the pattern of multiple weapons.
Yep.
This one's doing a little bit more violent shake, significantly reduced. So we'll go ahead and play that out so you can see multiple weapons. Definitely
the left
more
side of
subtle.
the
There's still
before is-
shake, obviously. It's not completely gone.
But it's a
But
little
it
less.
is significantly less and a little bit easier to manage. That one doesn't look quite as big of a difference.
This one makes
A little bit more. Yeah, that one you can see it's a little bit more softer shake. Way softer on this one. Look at that. Look at that difference on the was this Krig?
Might be a Krig.
I don't remember what gun I put here.
It looks like a Krig.
Holy,
yeah, the visual on the
that one
left
is significant.
Wow.
No, this one's the Krig.
Is it?
Okay, not as big a difference on that one. It didn't feel like than the sniper. So what you're looking for is how soon they start the idle sway. They're still going to idle sway, but how long it takes. So let's go ahead and go here, and we'll go ahead and see those. So idle sway. And it looks
about the
mostly
same.
similar. I had the laser on both.
Looks about
Okay,
the
so
same.
here's the mobility stuff that I wanted to do side-by-side comparison on. I recorded this before, and then I tried to like mirror it. So it's not perfect by any means, but I tried as best I could to kind of mirror it. So you kind of get a little bit of a look of kind of what's going on. They mainly look the same because I think it was when firing how much of the impact is on that. But you can kind of see those are pretty similar. Here's where they get different. So you can see that the crosshairs turn a little bit more on the left one compared to center. Obviously, it's still happening. In game, it doesn't really feel it. It's like if you didn't have those crosshairs visible, like the little yellow line that I have there,
You couldn't tell.
you wouldn't be able to really tell. So you can see that the
Yeah,
left
there's a
one is
difference in that.
bouncing
So they
way
basically
more,
had a really
and the
good
right
patch,
one's
but I
not
think
so
there's
much.
still more that they need
The
to
jump,
do.
still about the same on that side. You can see about the crosshairs, about the same.
I think everyone wants it to how it was when Modern Warfare 2019 came out and then Warzone initially came out. They almost want it like that. But with each company taking care of its own game, right? Because obviously Treyarch is doing Black Ops 6 right now. You can't expect something to be how it was before, especially with the game mechanics. The user interface or anything like that. It's all going to be different, but I think they're overcomplicating it, overdoing it, But the this so far
So
on this update seems like
yeah,
it's
definitely this
done what
ADS
it
one, you
needs to, but
notice
there's
it.
still more
Look at
to
how
fix,
much these numbers are moving
I
on the
believe.
left versus the right. So if we go back a little bit,
Yeah, it still moves on the left. On the right, it's not too
you
bad.
can see it pretty clearly.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go look at that again. Just focus on the numbers and you'll see the big difference.
Like when you look at this, where my mouse
So you
is,
see how much those are like, ooh,
compared to
and
on
then
this side. Yeah.
that's gonna get clipped. And then basically these ones don't even move. That's the part that's moving and versus not moving. So they definitely fixed some of that, and you can see that the visually that's not going to happen as much. Hopefully they dial in a little bit more of the optic bob, because the reticle doesn't look like it's moving too much in these scenarios. I think the actual visual gun shake is the next thing they probably got to tune a
Yes.
little bit more. I'm glad they keep moving in the right direction. Let me know what are your guys' thoughts. Do you guys notice the difference? Or are you liking the direction? Do you like the more realistic? Do you like the little bit more snappy feel where you can actually see what you're shooting? Let me know in the comment section. We'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching. As always, have a great day.
I think the patch notes are starting to move in the right spot, but it's kind of almost too late since the game's been out for what, a little over a month now. Multiplayer and Warzone itself, since the integration. I think that they are moving in the right direction, but like I said it like 2 or 3 times already. There's just still so much more that they have to fix. But hopefully, I mean, it gets fixed because what we're stuck with this. We're not stuck with it, but we have this game until the next one comes out, maybe in the not next year, but the year after. So a whole year of this, we're gonna be in for it. But hopefully they start fixing something. If you've played it, let me know your thoughts because I haven't jumped in. But if you have, let me know what you think and tell me if it's doing good or if it's worse.